Welcome back to Got No Control Podcast. I'm your host, Ronek. And before I introduce my special guest today, I want to give a special thank you to our sponsors that help these episodes be possible. 360 Spray Paint. 360 Spray Paint is a spray paint company that is distributed and manufactured out of Mexico, and they aim to offer high-quality spray paint to all spray paint enthusiasts. So make sure to check them out at 360 California. Looking to get custom stickers printed? Make sure to check out stickerla.com. They offer high-quality stickers and take advantage of code Got No Control and receive 15% off your next order. So make sure to check them out at stickerla.com. And with that being said, I want to give a special thank you and warm welcoming to my guest today. How you doing today, brother?
Not bad.
I want to start by, just giving you a thank you for the opportunity, for allowing me to interview today here. We're out here in the 818.
Yes, sir.
And it's a pleasure to be here. It's an amazing day. And let's hop into it, brother.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, by the way.
Always, always. Let's start talking about what is home to you?
Wow. I guess the Valley would be home?
West Valley?
No, just the Valley.
Okay, the Valley.
Just the Valley, yes. Sherman Oaks was pretty much where I started doing graffiti.
Okay.
But I noticed it all over the Valley in the mid-'80s to late '80s. I've been all over the country for the last 22 years. Many states, many driver's licenses, a little bit of international living, but I'm back here for right now for a minute, and here to tell you what I know.
And how was it, just to, not to get too deep into it, but how was it at home for you? Do you come from a big family, a lot of siblings, or was it just kind of very small?
Well, my dad, he was married 5 times, so
Okay.
he was a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
Trying to get it right. With 3 women, he had a couple sets of kids.
Okay.
My mother and my father, they bore my older brother and my older sister.
Okay.
And I have a few stepbrothers and sisters as well from a few other marriages of his.
And what do you think kicked off the creativity in you to start becoming a creative individual? What do you think it was? Was it from seeing something, from watching something, or maybe someone taught you something?
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
All the places we trespassed to go skateboard.
Yeah.
All the interesting stuff you had to trespass to do.
Yeah,
So in doing so, you would see tags, maybe a piece.
Okay.
Something that caught my eye all the time on the freeway in 86, there was a dude used to write Send from HAR crew out of the West Valley.
Send?
Send, S-E-N-D.
Okay.
And he eventually ended up in MSK under the name Krull, K-R-U-L-L.
Okay.
And that didn't happen until way later. But in 86, he painted the back of this off-ramp on the 101, and I used to drive by it to go to school every day. And I guess that was pretty much one of the sparks
Okay.
that lit for me to see that style of artwork. He did a big subway art character. He went out there in the daytime, rode his bicycle from Canoga Park,
Yeah.
and he had like a 4-step ladder, and he did it in the daytime,
Okay.
like,
Broad daylight.
yeah, right after school, so
Ooh.
right before rush hour.
Yeah.
He was doing this monster, like 10-foot tall character, and the name he was using at the time was Hex.
Hex.
Not to be confused with the Hex from TGO or the one from LOD. This was some West Valley stuff.
It's a different guy.
Yeah, but he got around and did a few pieces with his stepladder
Okay.
in some pretty high-profile places.
Shout out to him for taking it to that level and pushing himself to want to be the best.
Crawl 1, MSK crew.
And taking a small step back before we move forward, brother, I know you mentioned skateboarding.
Yes.
Was that something that you took serious to the point where you wanted to be great at it as far as tricks and landing sponsorships and stuff like that? Or was it just kind of like a hobby?
Well, I started skating when I was about 7 or 8.
Okay.
My Hawaiian neighbor, I was always in trouble, getting into mischief, and he kind of took a liking to me. So he gave me his old board from the 60s,
Okay.
which was a metal plank. It was from Hawaii, had metal wheels. It was a
Ooh.
wooden plank, about this big.
Yeah.
Metal wheels, excuse me.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, you need to burn off some energy. Take this. So He showed me some Tic Tacs, a little 360. I took the board, I got it on my knee, rolled down his driveway, rolled over my driveway, down the sidewalk, hit a crack, and broke 2 of my teeth out.
Oh, so it was a big hit.
That was my introduction to my love affair for the next 32 years.
How was it coming home and telling mom and dad, like, hey, I just busted my teeth?
Wasn't nothing new, man.
No?
I had stitches 13 times by the time I was 8.
Oh.
Had my head cracked open, falling out of trees,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff, man. I had dart thrown in my foot.
Yeah, man, skateboarding is definitely something that I did as well, because I got tired of walking. I was just like, man, I'm not walking no more. And that's where the skateboard kicked in.
Yeah, I skated ditches out in the West Valley. There was one park out there called Knapp Park,
Yeah.
Knapp.
Yeah.
And they had like a little snake run ditch, and then they had like a little, above that, they had like a little half pipe ditch.
Yeah.
That was maybe 6 feet. And then at the top was this cool little like 3 foot, little bank ditch.
Oh.
That was kind of wide, like maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, 12 or 14 feet wide. But so like you could start learning at the small one,
Yeah.
work your way down, and then the snake run was crazy though, because they had like pipes coming out. So like the older kids would go and they'd grind the pipe that was in the middle of the bank on the way down.
Yeah.
That was like kind of like the cool thing. And
Oh.
they
How
cemented.
old were you say that you were at this time?
I was going there when I was about 8 or 9.
Oh, so you started young.
Yeah. On my street, there was about 16 kids from all the families that lived on my street, and we'd play football, baseball, and then skateboarding came in, and we'd do like crash up derbies down the hill with we get cardboard boxes and fucking make little car things and
Yeah.
crash into each other and try to hurt these one kids. They were like the Flanders from The Simpsons, they wouldn't curse.
This is back when kids were kids. Like you would be
Yes.
outside, no cell phone, no TikTok, none of that. Just go outside and figure it out.
So the older kids, they had like good skateboards, and they kind of knew what was up. A couple of them could ollie.
Yeah.
So they eventually started going over there to the ditch at Knapp Park, and we'd tag along like behind them. They wouldn't ask us to go, but we'd follow them.
Nice.
And so that was a good one.
So I know you mentioned that this led to you, breaking into places to skate and get better at skating, and that's how you witnessed graffiti.
Yes.
But at what point do you tell your younger self, like, you know what, this is something that I'm really gonna do?
I would say maybe in the 6th grade, this one kid came to school, and he already had a little bit of a rap about writing. He knew it, like what markers were, and he'd gone out and done some illegal shit.
Okay.
He lived out in North Hollywood, and he came to my school, and kind of told me about like, hey, you need to pick a name and do this, because I was already trying to draw the stuff I saw in the ditches and in the empty pools. These older kids were rocking back then still, and
So it was kind of like an early, you could say early mentor type thing.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
And then this other dude came the next year in 7th grade, and he was friends, or his sister was friends with like some of the West Coast guys, like Ash.
Okay, Ash.
And I think Whisk maybe, or the other guys.
Okay.
And so he had a lot of information from them, from talking to them,
Yeah.
when they'd come over and visit his sister. And he brought spray can art to school one day.
Ooh.
So that right there was like, because most of the places, I didn't have too much time to stop and analyze it.
Yeah.
But he let me borrow it for the night, and I really got to dissect things more.
Can you talk a little bit about the emotion going through seeing something that you've never seen before, and you're kind of like stunned by it, but at the same time you want to soak as much game as you want from it?
There was a park, in Van Nuys Sherman Oaks Park.
Yeah.
I used to play flag football there.
Okay.
And there was a huge wall that people had been painting forever. And there were some pieces there, I would say 85, 86. And according to Skill, he said that this dude named Dino,
Dino,
D-I-N-O.
Okay, Dino.
I guess. I could be wrong, but he told me he's maybe from like Philadelphia or some East Coast city. And he had done a bunch of work there.
As far as piecing?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was like a Daffy Duck
Okay.
and like a Bugs Bunny, and those to me were some of the coolest things I've ever seen. And he had some letters, but I was really drawn to the characters.
Yeah.
Just like that one on the 101 I was telling you about. You know,
the nostalgia of just seeing something like, whoa, how'd that get there?
Yeah. Oh, getting back to that 101 piece, eventually I met up with Sed or Kroll up in Washington, Seattle, and he had a Polaroid of that piece.
Of that piece that Dino did?
No, the one on the 101 that I was telling you about earlier, the hex piece with the character. And that was like full circle, man. Like,
was that a big influence for you, that hex piece?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. But getting back to the park, those pieces stayed there for a while, and then they buffed it all, and then more people started hitting it. The UTIs, the UFKs, eventually like the STPs, the ICCRs, before they merged to form ICR. It used to be two separate crews.
And did you ever get a chance to kind of like hang out with Ash and the West Coast guys through your friends?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
That dude lived like top of Beverly Glen, like a la Mulholland.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get up there.
And I know you mentioned seeing the hex piece and the Dino piece at the park, but being from the Valley, can you talk a little bit about the graffiti culture there when you were coming as a child? Was it multiple guys doing it, or is it very rare to see?
It was, I'd say it was about around that time that I met that kid. I would say it was probably 87 that brought spray can art.
Okay.
I really started to notice like tags in my neighborhood: Snap, Smurf, Rage, Mystic, Maniac, Flash, Omega, a lot of the UTIs, a lot of the UFKs. There was a crew out there called TDK that this dude Else was pushing, and those dudes were rocking it. There was a bunch of Sherman Oaks hometown hitters that really put it down. I mean, this dude Sex, Cess, Lurk, Spore. I mean, there's a lot of names back then.
And what year would you say this is?
This is like 87, 88.
88? Yeah. So it's fair to say this was among the very early stages of graffiti kind of like being established in Los Angeles?
I wouldn't say that, because there was a whole generation before that. If you want to talk about GFA and the DTK crew, those guys were doing 84, 85, I think.
Okay.
So they were like the first, and then as far as like UTI's origins, 86, from what I understand, was this dude J-Ski was one that taught skill.
Okay.
So he was already into it for a couple of years. So.
And UTI had a big presence in the Valley?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Nice. Around my neighborhood, there was pieces, throw-ups, tags on everything. And when I first saw it, I was like, Udi, what the hell is that? Like I didn't know it was what a crew was or anything like that until much later. But it was imprinted on every bus bench, pole, electrical box, on the bus. I mean, you couldn't help but once you saw and understand what graffiti was, you would see it everywhere.
Okay. And at what point do you come up with a name? And how do you pronounce the name? Is it Smogie or Smogie?
Smogie.
Smogie. Okay.
Like a smoggy day.
Okay. And was Smogie your first name or?
Oh no.
Okay.
I mean, I had some like the first name I went out and wrote with spray paint, like because I consider that like being like your first name. I mean, markers, whatever, it's kind of a toy, but you go out there with spray paint, actually deface something with that. I mean, there's a liner. And then from that, I went to like, eventually I went into Hint, H-I-N-T, and that was about, I'd say, late 89, 90. I wouldn't say I really started bombing until 90.
Okay.
When I switched over from Hint to Each, E-A-C-H.
Okay, Each.
And I wrote that for a while until I got confronted on the bus by some older black writers that said their homeboy wrote that and that I don't write that anymore. So I had to go find another name. My homeboy Adam, 12, he was one of my skater buddies.
Okay.
We kind of did a lot of like pioneering into graffiti. He knew a little bit more because his older brother knew a lot more than we did. So we kind of like hung on to what he said. And he was friends with all the older skaters. See, the skateboard culture in the Valley was what spawned the graffiti culture. Like everybody kind of graduated from skateboarding into graffiti.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a lot of the riders that I saw up, I actually was skateboarding with, but didn't even know it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So like Omega,
Yeah.
we were on the same skateboard team out of the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Okay.
I was on the 12 and under team. She was on the, 17 and under, 17 to 15 or something. I don't know.
For those that would watch this that don't understand what being part of a skateboard crew was, right? Being part of the same skateboard crew. Can you talk a little bit about what that meant at the moment?
Well, this was a team for a skate shop.
Okay.
That's different. But yeah, we had our little posses that we'd run around with and, link up daily after school and skate schools or take the bus.
Being part of the team meant you were sponsored.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So,
yes.
Okay.
So I got on that team, and her and Omega and Else were both on the team.
Okay.
And they were like already way established riders.
Okay.
And by the time I understood and registered what graffiti was, and that it was like habitual.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, it was one person for each name.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, okay. I think I get this now.
And I know in Los Angeles, right, in the early days, riders had their spots where they would go paint. They had like Belmontano and et cetera, right? And the Valley, what did you guys have accessible as far as to go paint? Like if you were saying, oh, I'm going to go hit a yard, or was it a tunnel?
Yeah, you had the Woodman Yard.
Okay.
You had a Coldwater Yard later on in like 90, 91, 92, maybe into 93.
Okay.
And then you had, the older one was the Reseda Yard.
Okay, the Residio?
Reseda.
Oh, Reseda.
It was off like Reseda and Ventura, close to there.
Okay.
I never went there. That was before my time.
Okay.
But you also had like little pockets like along the Wash, the LA River.
Okay.
It's not very big out this way, but it's there was like some apartments, like the parking structures for the apartments had pieces on the back of them.
Yeah.
And I would, like being a skater and a little scrub, I'd walk around and lurk, find different ways to go home and stuff from school. And I'd come across like these little I guess they were kind of productions, like stacked names maybe with a character.
Yeah.
And a couple I saw was by this dude Caper, Kaper.
Okay.
And this dude Zero. And they were locals. I believe they lived, I think Caper lived really close to the Woodman Yard.
Okay.
Which was Woodman and Oxnard, right? And so he was painting a lot at Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
And he had like pieces on the street.
Oh, nice.
And his tags were real like wispy, I guess you could say. And he had like a landmark on, I think it was Moore Park and Van Nuys on a street sign. Like you had to stand on the don't walk sign.
Yeah.
And he stood up there and he wrote on the very big sign.
Ooh.
And it stayed there for like a good 4 or 5 years. It was a double landmark.
Nice.
And I believe Maniac from UTI had one across the street, same thing.
Ooh.
So these were like, like when you say landmark, it is like a landmark because you're like, oh, let's go to the down the street and make a left at that caper tag or whatever. It's just and then when you're riding the bus home, you'd be like, oh, look at that pail throw up, or this lurk tag on this box.
Where are you at? I'm right next to the caper tag. I'm there.
Well, but some of these things were like throwovers. Like I said, I got into it really heavily and committed when I was 1990, but there was stuff left over from like 87 still running.
And being a young child, right, trying to enter this culture where there's already people established and there's people already putting up burners, was it kind of hard coming out and not being accepted, but kind of being acknowledged, like, hey, I'm out here too? Would they ever shut you down, kind of like, hey, get out of here, or was it kind of mutual?
Well, the thing was that made me segue into graph was because I was a skater.
Yeah.
And a lot of the riders were skaters.
Okay.
And I could skate pretty decent. A lot of my friends were older and would take me places that I probably shouldn't have gone and done things I shouldn't have gone at a young age.
Yeah.
And, partying and going to buy dime bags out in Bad Eyes and shit. like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And, mobbing down Ventura at like 3 in the morning, skating everything back. Take the bus down to like, Winnetka and Ventura and skate everything back, on the way to your house, which is like, I don't know, maybe like 8-10 miles.
Okay.
And, just doing adventures like that and sneaking out to do things, like all kind of culminated into becoming a graffiti writer because I was already out in areas I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I knew how to trespass.
Yeah.
And it just was like, once I got into that community, I was fortunate that I had a mentor
Okay.
who was already established bus rider from, like 87 or so.
Okay.
He wrote Seas 1, S-E-A-S-E.
C?
Seas.
Oh, C's.
He dropped the E and would just write S-E-A-S.
Okay.
He eventually got into STP and was friends with all the original first generation. They put him down. He wrote Booger from that crew.
Okay, Booger.
And eventually he started schooling me and Adam on hand styles and was taking us around, showing us bus routes, how to make like chapstick markers, with bead streaks, little chapstick.
Yeah.
You're a juvenile and, you want to try to have some kind of rap game where you're not going to get busted if you get sweated. And
how valuable was that to you? So for some of the viewers that don't understand the value that having a mentor brings to you as you're coming up, can you talk a little bit about that value that it brings?
It kind of, I wouldn't say it gives you carte blanche per se.
Yeah.
But it definitely breaks the ice when you would bump into older riders.
Yeah.
And he was already an established player.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Oh, this is my homeboy. He writes this." And we're like, "Hey, what's up?" Whatever. And
Yeah.
So there's a big tie between skateboarding and graffiti. So,
Definitely.
and we met Booger. They were doing a K-Rock promotion for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, wow.
And he showed up. He used to work at like some restaurant on Ventura. He was wearing his busboy outfit, like white shirt, like some slacks, and had some like airwalks or some shit skating down. Showed up. He looked like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds too.
Yeah.
Like that's why they gave him the name Booger.
Oh, that's where it comes from.
But we showed up there to go check it out and get some stickers or whatever. The K-Rock people were there. Chili Peppers were there, and like they're throwing stickers out, and this kid grabs one, and he fucking grabs it. That's my sticker, pop! Like total like jailhouse mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like he'd been to the halls a few times, so he was interesting. Like we were mobbing buses, and someone would talk shit. He'd fucking throw gum in the lady's hair, or like fucking throw food on them or something. Like I remember one time I went to the Sizzler with my family, and him and fucking Adam were at the fucking Sizzler, and they start throwing fucking frozen yogurt at us. I'm like, dude, I'm with my fucking mom. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I would have took it very disrespectful.
He had no respect, bro.
Yeah, when you're with the family, it's different.
But I'll tell you what, that dude was one true vandal.
One true vandal.
Yeah, he was still mobbing when he was 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a car. And, when we got into it with other people, we had to battle. He was going out every night. He was matching me fucking night for night.
And I know you mentioned the bus movement, right? That you took part in bus riding?
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't no king or nothing, but I rode the RTDs for
those
years.
There's many people out there don't understand, the bus movement and how it was to ride a line and meet riders in the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that movement?
Okay. Well, it was always a gamble because you wouldn't know who would be on the bus.
Okay.
Not many people were friendly if they didn't know you.
Yeah.
And, so you get on and you kind of check it out and see who was in the back. And if they look like a rider, you'd look at their shoes and see if they had paint shoes on or what kind of shoes they're. If they were wearing Cortez Nikes, you're like, I'm going to sit in the front, whatever. But
what kind of shoe would you kind of look at and be like, that's a rider?
Well, like a Reebok, like
Reebok.
the old Reebok, old school Reeboks, some Pumas, Adidas.
Okay.
Converse, that could go either way.
But the Cortezes are, hey, don't go.
Yeah, that was like, when the raves came out, like the early 90s, like fools were wearing like fluorescent Cortez, like it was the thing. I was like, I'll never rock a pair of those, bro. No disrespect, but that wasn't my thing. That's why I got into graffiti.
Yeah, I've never worn those things either, man. It's not for me.
But you just check the attire. You like baggy jeans, maybe. Maybe some like Gap type shirt, striped shirt or something. Or, button up, but like not like gangstered out, but, like a plaid shirt or something. And hats, because like those used to also identify crews, some crews would wear like USC. That was my first big crew, Unstoppable Criminals.
Okay.
We used to wear,
Okay.
No, actually, it actually goes back to like Mid City,
okay.
I believe, and they had a chapter on the west side.
Okay.
From what I understand, I could be wrong.
Shout out USC, man.
Yeah, my homeboy Driz put me down in that.
Okay.
91, and immediately after he put me down, we ended up battling, I believe, STP.
Oh. Ooh.
And it was, and the battles back then were like, we're going to map off like 10 blocks or 10 miles.
Okay.
And everything goes in there, plus buses, plus freeways.
Okay.
So whoever crushes it the most, and you'd have like an outside crew judge it, so there was kind of no favoritism.
Yeah.
And it was for like maybe 100 cans.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like there was a prize.
Yeah.
So it was like sport.
Yeah.
So you'd have like, with a big crew like USC, we had people all over the valley, but they would like, you go out and you see some fool you don't even know, but you know him, but he was killing it. You're like, oh yeah, right on. So that would charge you up, and you'd go out, and then, other people go out, and then the STPs will go and smash a bunch of shit. And you're like, we got to go out tonight,
But you never had like a sore loser, right? Where like, hey, bro, you lost. Like,
sometimes some people would be very sore losers.
Okay. Like, we didn't lose.
Might get a little physical, But most of the time it was all about, the love of bombing.
Okay.
It wasn't about the tag banging thing came later, but there were some knuckleheads,
But with battling, is it fair to say that it was kind of like a way to resolve disputes among riders?
Absolutely, but it was also competition. It was to see who was rocking shit the most.
Okay.
Because if you got two really active crews and they're both the big cocks of the walk,
Yeah.
you're going to find out who the real big cock of the walk is, and you're going to go to war, in a good way. Not you know what I mean? But that's kind of like how some of those resolve. Other times it would be like, oh, you capped our piece here, or, you went over our production and we don't think it was good enough to go over our shit. Or,
Okay.
Or you went over our tags with a throw up or something,
Yeah.
and that wasn't cool. But I mean, it could be for whatever reason, but most of the time it was just the dudes that were putting in the most work.
And in your personal opinion, do you feel like battling is still important to today in the culture?
With all the surveillance and everything, it's hard to say because
It's a different time.
it's a totally different time. I mean, back then we were dealing with pagers,
Yeah.
and payphones.
Yeah.
So, your homeboy would page you with like a code, like 911, like, oh, I got to call him back real quick because
Beep, beep, beep.
it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Or 411 or something, like they put their number in and then like a little code afterwards.
Yeah.
And then if you were going bombing, you'd have a code like, you put in like, we're going to go out tonight or meet us here kind of thing, like something you'd like established before. And then you kind of use that. And then eventually like people would like come to the mall or the Galleria and they'd have like calling card numbers. And then we just burn those shits out, man. Because once somebody got one, it was like, here you go, make your fucking calls. Like, it's all good.
Does it ever strike you like witnessing the difference, coming from a time where like, you come from the pager era, before the cell phone era, before all the surveillance, till now, where you have pretty much everything and anything accessible to you?
Everything is instantaneous. Nobody's patient. Nobody wants to work for anything anymore. Everybody wants something for nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a different mentality. There are some quality bombers out there that are fucking keeping the faith and putting the smack down.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it was an era that's never going to be relived again. I mean, watching, 20 dudes just fucking rush a bus and just crush it, and that thing's limping off, going down the street, going, and the bus driver's just pulling their hair out, like crying because, they've got a big fucking UTI across the front windshield, or a flex scribe or something. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, these things used to get killed. There was this dude's wrister from MBT, Nothing But Trouble.
Okay.
And I remember when USC battled MBT.
Yeah.
That fool, from the front to the back rooftop, wrister.
On the bus?
NBT. The whole fucking roof, man. With like a Sakura.
Oh.
Like a blue Sakura. I just remember that. Like, that stuck out. I was like, this fool just walked the whole fucking aisle, put up his tag, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And, like, there was a few of them I saw like that. And, other people, like, catching the inside of the bus with a fucking can or the grill, like in the very back.
Yeah.
They have the vents in the back seats, like tags right there. Like, there was a lot of like risky shit.
It's like you had to be in the moment to kind of witness it, right? It's just one of those things.
There's not much documentation on it.
Yeah.
But there's people out there with the stories.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that were strictly just bus killers.
Yeah.
That people just will never remember their name if you weren't in that era. But they fucking
But they
really
killed it.
were dedicated.
Yeah.
And they put in years on those lines.
Okay.
And
shout out to all of them, man. Like you said, some of them get forgotten, but their names still live in conversations.
yes, and that's why things like this are important because, like my homeboy Booger, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna remember him really except the people from my crew.
Yeah.
And people who knew him. But now people will know that that dude stayed doing graffiti.
And let me ask
took
you,
the risk as an adult. Like not many people do that. People's graffiti cycle goes maybe 2-3 years tops. They might do 2 suburbs and then they wane out or they turn 18 or they get a car or a chick or whatever and they're gone.
But then you got those guys that are dedicated.
Yeah.
That no matter what year it is, I'm there.
There are 2 writers that I want to give. There's 3. There's 2 though that have never ever stopped.
Okay.
And that is Rage from TCF and my brother Snap One from UTI crew.
Shout out both of them.
Those dudes got years after their tags archived since '86 hard.
Oh.
Like they're still putting it up. You could go in the valley here and you can see Snap up. You could go over here, you could see Rage up.
Yeah.
And Rage has got to have one of the most unique tag styles I've ever seen.
Okay.
When you see one, you'll know. And once you learn, like, that's what that says, you're just like, fuck, dude. Like,
And your personal opinion, what do you feel, because they're your friends, right? So what do you feel drives your friends emotionally, mentally to be persistent and dedicated to something that they love but no matter the negativity or the good that it brings, they're just fully focused because they just love it.
I would say passion. Passion, love for the art form.
Okay.
Maybe it's love for destruction.
Yeah.
Maybe it's love for getting over. Either way, it's adrenaline based.
Yeah.
And it's also
very therapeutic.
Yes, it's very good therapy. And when I feel bad, I'll go out and smash a bunch of trades or whatever. It helps me get over things. But there's certain people that just have it in their heart to stay true and keep the faith.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have been slammed down with a lot of time. For GK, my homie for one.
Yeah.
He fucking did a couple stints, county, prison.
Yeah.
And, he still carries the torch on.
It's very, shout out to them for first of all, for, just staying true to themselves and keep going. Because like you mentioned, a lot of guys, a summer or 2 and they disappear.
Yeah. There's plenty of those people. And, they make a lot of noise and then you never hear from them again. And they will challenge older guys who maybe have slowed down.
Yeah.
I've had this happen to me, being called a fucking fossil or whatever, because I won't take youngsters with me because I'm like, I need to know that A, you're watching out.
Yeah.
B, you know which way to go. C, you're going to have my back,
Yeah.
And, people are foolish. You don't know what they're going to do under pressure.
To me, I think that's a very valuable point there, having your back. Because if you're rolling with me and something goes off and you disappear, it puts us in a bad position. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to stay true to your friend. Like you both understand what you're doing, both understand what you're getting into. So let's be realistic here. Right. Taking a small step back.
Sorry, I keep jumping from.
You mentioning being a Valley native, right?
Yes.
Entering the LA realm. Was there ever like a rivalry there, kind of like, oh, you're from over there and we're from over here?
Well, the Valley got respect, but it also didn't. It's pretty overlooked.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can really consider yourself all city if you haven't come out here and done some dirt.
Yeah.
It's a vast area with a rich history.
Okay.
A lot of it goes back to the birth of Los Angeles graffiti.
Yeah.
We have some very heavyweights that have come out of here.
Okay.
We have some very heavy crews that are still making noise.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody on the west side, east side, whatever.
Yeah.
But, we've been here and we're going to stay here. I had a friend that lived by Uni High School over in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And we went out there and did graffiti out there and met some writers out there. Everybody was cool.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really make it downtown too much. I ended up getting thrown out of my house to Seattle when I was 16.
Oh, 16, you were in Seattle.
Yeah, I stopped going to school, listening to my parents, staying out doing graffiti as much as I could. Just, you know, smoking, drinking, smoking weed.
And how was that, like a young LA native kid, get into Seattle and having to start fresh again? How was that?
It was hard. I want to say this, is that there's a lot of people who have come from Los Angeles and they have gone other places and stopped. And then there are those who, like we talked about earlier, who keep the faith, who have the passion, who are driven to continue to do graffiti. And they stay the course and they put it down wherever they go and spread the Los Angeles style cancer bombing. So when I moved up there, it was kind of like how I felt like the generation before me and the generation before that who had access to rack anything they wanted, who had clean buses that weren't really fucked up, where I could get the bottom windowsill scribes in the back of the bus because that was like a coveted spot on the RTD.
And this, are we still talking Seattle, or are we?
This is Seattle.
Okay, Seattle. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you want to roll back into LA, we can.
No, so in Seattle they had RTD lines.
No, they didn't have RTDs, but they had the Metro bus.
Okay, the Metro bus.
So I didn't know anybody up there for about 3 months.
Okay.
And they sent me up there to live with my father and to get my life together and try to go back to school and become a productive member of society. And I just got even worse, man. I even went even deeper.
Okay.
I took everything I learned and understood about graffiti, and I fucking did it, you know?
Okay.
I did heavens, billboards before everybody up there, top to bottom throw-ups.
What year would you say this is?
This was 93.
93.
Yeah. I ended up meeting up with, after the first 3 months, all I did was ride on buses.
Okay.
I didn't know how to get to the city. I was out on the east side.
You're still trying to figure yourself out as
Yes.
far as
oriented, you know? So I got it going with this dude in school, knew a writer, and turned out to be this dude Gnome from BTM crew.
Okay.
And as you know, BTM is one of the largest bombing crews in the country right now, big time mob. And he introduced me to Gnome, and Gnome took me into the city, and I met like this dude that wrote Scent, which eventually became Sect, which eventually became Vic 20, which became what he writes now. But he's in THR with Twist.
Okay.
And those guys. But he started BTM with my 2 other homies. And
so you were there for the beginning of BTM.
I was one of the original 7.
Okay, you were one of
They had it going maybe, they started in 92.
Okay.
And I came in 93 in March. We hooked up, went to the city, went bombing, got arrested. These scumbags, man.
And your dad was probably...
Got me hemmed up. My dad was out of town for a week and a half in like Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there on Broadway. We're fucking about 8 of us, BTMs, and we're mobbing this fucking pay box for the parking lot.
Yeah.
And the one time rolls by, and everybody just kind of goes... So he turns around, and I'm running, and I've got like 17 cans of Krylon in my backpack. I mean, we were going to fucking put it down.
You guys were going...
Oh, yeah. We already crushed all the way from Westlake all the way up to Broadway.
Okay.
You know, dusting a bunch of cans. And he chased after us, and me and this dude, Seed, who's a pretty renowned oil painter now.
Okay.
He's been out in New York, and I think he's back in Seattle now, but he's one of the original BTMs. He was the first guy that was like the Chaka.
Okay.
To get busted up there was this dude, Tread.
Trey?
Tread,
Okay.
T-R-E-D.
Okay, Tread.
And he was one of the original 7 too.
Okay.
But that dude had tags everywhere. He was like everywhere.
And was getting supply accessible in Seattle, or were you going to just like warehouses, like, or how were you going about getting supply down there?
Oh, just go to the hardware store back
Just
there.
hardware store?
Yeah. But yeah, so get back to the chase story. We were hiding behind a car, and we're like, we're good. And the clerk at the gas station's like, that, boom, they're over there. So, you know, got hemmed up, and my buddy told him, like, you know, he's not a runaway because they wanted to throw me in jail. So I'm like, I got my hold of it. I was like, nah, ain't gonna happen. So, but he came back and was like, he's staying with me, it's cool. And they let me go with a ticket. I thought it was like, what, a ticket? Are you kidding me?
That's it?
Yeah, but in 3 months I got 3 of those, so that wasn't that good. One of them I got like 2 weeks later with that same fucker. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, as far as like Racky, like stationery stores, wide open. Like they had boxes of streaks, boxes.
Oh, boxes.
And they were like in the back. Like there was nobody back there. They didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
Yeah.
And I would just take a couple, because I'm like, I don't want to burn the spot. I know what happened in LA.
Yeah.
I know all about cage spray paint.
Yeah.
And markers behind counters. So, I got ultra wides out there, like,
And how long did you
pilots.
stay in Seattle till you kind of like migrated back to LA? Was it a while?
It was a while. There was a year I spent up in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay.
I met a girl up there. Her brother was sick, so I went up there to stay and help her, comfort her, and
Yeah.
visit her brother and stay with him during the day.
Okay.
And I met a lot of the cool old school locals up there. This was about 96, 97.
Okay.
And one of them I'd like to mention was Cruz, Krews.
Okay.
And he's from the BA crew, which I think originated in Baltimore, but there was a heavy presence in the Bay with
Okay.
like Giant.
Okay.
There's a bunch of other heads. I drawn a blank, but he was in there. And then one time in, I believe, 89 or 90, the KSN dudes, they had a band called Excel.
Okay.
They went up there, and they hung out and partied with him, and I guess they put him down at KSN because he was hitting that up when I was up there, so he felt a connection to me. This dude had been painting since Expo 84 up there.
Ooh.
And he was a breaker, and he had one eye.
One eye.
Yes. And he could do like some of the best fucking pieces, like burners, like fucking huge, one eye.
Ooh.
Like we're talking like fucking like 25-foot burners, like big shit.
Oh, so he was.
Yeah, he was a hitter.
Yeah.
And so he took to me, I took to him, and he passed away too.
May he rest in peace.
And I never got a chance to reconnect with him after I left Canada, really.
Yeah.
Because he kind of lived kind of sporadic, like it was hard to tack down a number to find him. And I mean, yeah, so.
It's entering Canada as far as the graffiti culture, right? What can you say is a little bit different than back over here on the West Coast?
Well, it is on the West Coast. Vancouver's on the west side of Canada.
Okay.
But no, it was like Euro light, if I was going to put it some way.
Yeah.
Because they had like a sky train, which is like an elevated train.
Okay.
So it was like, wow, that was new to me coming from LA. We didn't have trains back then. Like to me that was like some European shit. And like the way like everything was laid out, and the people, it was like, I don't know what Canadians do, dude, but I try to figure it out every day.
Yeah.
But like they had a huge heroin problem up there, and they had a thing called Welfare Wednesday, is when they got their government checks, and every Thursday there'd be like 5 ODs in the alley.
Oh,
And
so
like-
it was something very serious.
Yeah, we're talking like Hastings Street
Okay.
and gassed out area around there, and I used to go down there by myself,
Yeah.
and catch tags at night.
Oh.
And I did a lot of walking around that city. I did a lot of tagging. And I did do some pieces with Cruz. There was another dude that rode Jet, Take 5. I'll give a shout out to him. He was in a wheelchair.
And painting?
Yeah, so it was kind of fucked up, dude. Like I had one guy that had one eye, and the one dude that's in a wheelchair, and we're bombing. I'm like, this doesn't, like, look out. I don't know, like, can we get out of here? Like, what the fuck? Like, so, it's just kind of like, no disrespect, but
Yeah.
it's just something that you had to be there and in that company to experience it. But,
Yeah.
and like those dudes would fight all the time, him and Take 5. I don't know what it was, but Cruz and Take 5, they'd go at it. They get loaded, gassed up on some booze or whatever. And yeah, I got a lot of stories about Canada with those dudes.
And how would you make these connections? Was it just about going out and painting and just meeting people, or was
Yeah, I would just, I don't even know how I met these. I guess through skateboarding, because I was still skateboarding.
Oh, you were still skateboarding out there, okay.
So I'd go to like, I'd go to like a skate park. They had a couple concrete parks up there.
Okay.
Some of them were like holdovers from the 70s.
Ooh.
So like some old bowls and shit, you
Yeah.
know? And they were a lot of fun. And I would just go there and just talk to people. Hey, do you know anybody that did any of the graffiti here? Or,
Yeah. Oh, we do. Or,
or my homeboy does. He lives
Yeah.
down here. Let's go see him or whatever. So I just make connections. That's one thing about me, is I'll always be able to go anywhere and make some kind of a friend or connection. Like I could seek things out.
But it's very important in my opinion, because I mean, a friendship could be very valuable depending on the situation.
Yeah.
You know, knowing the right person to call, like, hey, boom, boom, and then making the connection.
Yeah, it was bad though, because that fool, the crews would be like, hey, give me $5. I'm like, nah, man, like that's all I got. He's like, give me $5, I'm gonna call the immigration on your ass. I'm like, you fucking asshole. He'd be fucked up, dude. That guy was a riot, dude.
And how long did you stay in Canada? Was it?
I'd say about a year.
And after that, you came back to Seattle?
Yeah, I came back to Seattle, and then in '99, my mom got sick with cancer, and I ended up back in LA to help take care of her.
Yeah.
She passed away at the end of '99. I kind of like disconnected from graffiti, and I mean, I put in a solid decade.
Yeah.
I never stopped.
Okay.
I kept it going everywhere I went, and I did buses, freeways, trains, streets. You know, freeways were my favorite.
Okay.
Those were my passion.
But did you ever come to a point within yourself where it was kind of like, maybe I don't want to keep going? Did you ever have that?
At times, yeah. I mean, I was an adult, you know.
Yeah.
I was like in my 20s, like, do I really want to get cracked for this shit? Like,
Yeah.
I see a lot of my friends go off, get busted, and I don't know. I just had a really good teacher, and I watched a lot of the older criminals in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
That showed me how to get over and just, you know, how to walk away from the situation.
Yeah.
And just how to keep your cool, hold your mud,
Yeah.
as they say.
And I know off camera you mentioned that you entered multiple crews such as like MSK and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How important was it for you to be part of a crew? Was it something that was kind of like a family, or was it just a mutual friend, or was it something that is important to you to be part of a crew?
I think everybody starting out wants to be part of one, especially if like your mentor's in one.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the people you admire.
Okay.
You know, you're like, oh, that'd be fresh, dude. Like if I could write that or whatever, you know. But I mostly just friends, you know.
Okay.
Like when I got put down in USC, the Driz was one of the local neighborhood guys that skated around and, you know, got into mischief. So, you know.
At any point did the New York graffiti, a New York graffiti writer ever come in contact with you?
New York graffiti writer. No, but
Okay.
I got turned on to New York from people like Cruz.
Okay.
The guys I mentioned that were from the West Valley, Kroll and Rot from
Yeah.
MSK. They knew a lot. Running into Power in '96 with GK
Yeah.
in Seattle and painting with Power a lot and hearing his stories about painting with, you know, Van and you know, those kind of guys, Ket and the AOKs, RIS dudes, MTK, those crews.
Then coming to Seattle was because you invited him, or you guys met down there?
Who's that?
Power and GK.
Power was living up there. He
Okay.
moved up there in '95.
Okay.
I hadn't connected with him or even knew that he was up there.
Okay.
GK, I took GK out riding for his second time
Okay.
back in 1990.
Okay.
And what's crazy is that night was wild. We raided a garage, and it was all floral paint, and they had a rack of it.
Ooh.
So me, him, and this dude Graham,
Yeah.
who was writing Grammar at the time, which is what me and this dude Remote gave him the name,
Okay.
raided the garage, and we had 2 shopping bags full of cans. And we walked the freeway for about 4 miles and destroyed both sides.
With fluorescent paint.
Floral paint.
Oh,
it was
floral.
for flowers.
Oh, okay.
But it worked. You know what I mean? Like it smelled funny. It was like a glue fart or
But
something.
it did the job.
Yeah, it did the job. So we were able to crush for about 4 miles, both sides, center divider throw-ups, every pole, call box, curbs, you know, anything and everything you could ride on, we hit, because there was like not much out in the area we were doing it. And the other day I was driving with Skill, and I saw one of the tags. It's starting to show through the buff.
Oh, really?
From that night.
Damn.
From 1990.
That's
so
crazy.
I posted that on my IG with a little story about that. And it's just amazing. I still have shit running in the canyons in LA from 91, 92. And, you know, I did almost 3 years formatively in LA graffiti. before I left. So I already had the whole program down.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then I took that on the road and all over the Northwest, and came back. My mom passed away, stayed here, went into the service after September 11th.
Oh, you served?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for your service.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And throughout your journey, right, of all the stuff that you've gone through, graffiti and the culture and your contribution, is there anything that you could say that you might regret doing or not doing?
I guess taking advantage of more opportunities like this.
Okay.
You know, I was never a stamp licker. I never sent photos into magazines.
Okay.
I never sought out this or that. I just wanted to just bomb, man.
Yeah.
That's it. I wrote a bunch of aliases that probably people don't even remember.
Okay.
But I just had a passion and a drive to do graffiti. I love doing letters. Every piece I do, I try to do different.
Okay.
I try to flip as many styles as I can.
Gotcha.
To me, that's the essence, is being creative. You want to be original, creative, and productive.
Gotcha.
If you want to be a graffiti writer.
Yeah. What can you say to that youngster in the valley that might watch this and get inspired and say, you know what, I want to paint graffiti?
I would say do your homework first. Don't come off with somebody else's name. A name is your identity. It's what makes you you.
Yeah.
If you have someone else's name and you're trying to ride on either their coattails or their reputation, us older dudes are going to know. And you're going to be considered a toy, and you're going to be asked to go back to school and come up with something different. And you got to give props because, yeah, we're history, but someday you're going to be history. And how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as somebody that contributed, took away, or was a toy?
Definitely. It's definitely important to pick out a name, because some guys will just take a O out and put a K or.
Yeah. I mean, like there's like guys that like were like the blueprint foundation of graffiti in Los Angeles, and I see their tags. I'm like, that's not him. Like, who's this? Like, how could you fucking write that name?
Yeah,
like, but it's just a matter of naivety.
Okay.
You know, it's a matter of instant gratification. They want to go out now, like really study the letters, find letters you like, come up with your own combination, try to be original, try to be creative, try to be productive.
In your personal opinion, when putting a piece together, right, what is a good executed piece?
A good executed piece, I would say that if you strip away all the bells and whistles, those simple letters rock hard on their own.
Okay.
Everything else is fucking polish. I'm a bomber.
Yeah.
I never was considered myself like a piecer.
Yeah.
I approach piecing like I do bobbing. I'm a throwback to the 90s. I can't help it. I don't keep up with modern shit. I do. I mean, I look at it all the time, but I never had, when I moved out of LA, I didn't have those like older writers that were, I wouldn't say just the next level, you know, that were around to go, hey, dude, like, you know, try blending this way or whatever. I had to figure a lot of shit out on my own.
Okay.
After I left LA, I got to say that Unit did take me to do my first piece and show me the blueprint on how to do a piece.
Yeah.
And that was 92 down at the Frog Yard in Calabasas.
You say Unit?
Unit,
Okay.
yes, from
Shout out
50
Unit.
millimeter.
Yeah.
LOD crew.
Yeah.
I was in his crew, MYL, in the 90s. We battled CR.
CR.
But that was because IC and CR were two different crews,
Okay.
and they merged together to be ICR, what it is today.
Okay.
There's a bit of history for you Valley guys. Most of you guys already know that, but if you didn't, now you do. And we battled them in 91, 92.
Okay.
And they won, I guess.
And
yeah, they did.
And 2024, is there something out there that kind of you're seeing now, and it's kind of like, okay, I see this guy doing it. Is there anybody out there, maybe an up and comer or anyone in general that comes to mind that you might think about, like, okay, I see this guy doing this thing?
Shy 47.
Shy 47.
The homie from the. I met him back in the early 90s. He doesn't fuck with many people, but we fucked with each other back in the day, and to this day he'll still come visit me wherever I'm at.
Okay.
So props to him. You know, he came back into the scene. that was totally changed, different. You know, I mean, he was controversial.
Yeah.
He was confrontational, and he did a lot of graffiti, and he's still doing it.
Shout out to him.
I would say that that's inspiring. I mean, as far as new guys, I mean, I guess the MSK dudes, like, you know, some of the new guys we put in.
Okay.
You know, Rams,
Merge.
the guys that are repelling and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's bad because some kid's gonna mimic that and die. Like, I don't mean to like put that juju out there, but I hope that doesn't happen. But kids, you know, there's a real fucking risk to your life doing this shit, you know.
And what can the world expect from Smogie in the future? What's next for you?
You know, I've got many colorful stories.
Yeah.
I've written maybe about 12 of them down. So I'd like to do a little short story book, maybe.
Okay, so a book.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to like be like famous, but I just think that there's a lot of history to be told.
Okay.
I've lived through a lot of the Valley history.
Yeah.
I maybe made some contributions here and there.
Okay.
West Coast, you know, whatever. And I just think a lot of it's entertaining. I've read a lot of different books, and not many are from my generation, the early 90s.
Okay.
When buses were still getting killed.
Okay.
You know, when there was no barbed wire on the heavens. You know, like spots were still being able to be found in original. Like nowadays, it's like the same fucking walls get hit.
Yeah.
So props to like, you know, Rams and, you know, those guys that are repelling and taking it to the next level. That's next level shit, dude.
Shout out to them, man.
You know?
For decades to come, brother, right? Many years from today, what do you want the world to remember Smogie by?
Just that I had the heart to keep doing this for what I believe are the right reasons.
Yeah.
Just keeping it pure and fun. I've met a lot of people along the way, a lot of weird connections to people directly or indirectly, and just be remembered for that, dude. Being
awesome, man. I want
here.
to thank you for giving me a little bit of your time to speak about your contribution to the culture and everything you've gone through. Is there any shout outs you want to give out there to anybody before we get on out of here?
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to my crews, UTI, Under the Influence, Los Angeles, established 1986. Mad Society Kings, MSK crew, established 1989. BTM crew, Big Time Mob, established 1992. That was originally from the Bay Area, actually.
Okay.
And those guys have deep connections. Sect, the original Sect guy put me in BTM.
Okay.
He was from the Bay. He
Oh,
brought
he's
that
from
whole style, bus chaser style, up to Seattle. So you had my style, which was LA bus mobber, which was non-stops, but written a different way.
Yeah.
Not to knock that Bay Area,
Yeah.
but everybody latched onto that style because I don't think they could fuck with what LA had to offer.
Friendly rivalry.
No. It was all love, dude. It was all love. Those guys had cool shit going on.
But again, brother, thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving me the time of the day. And for everybody out there, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out GotNoControl.com. Check out our merch, t-shirts, hoodies, and much more. And we're out. Till next time. Peace.